Hello, everyone, and good morning. Sawadee krap. My name is Steve Johnson Stevenson, and I'm with the Tourism Authority of Thailand. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today in Thailand, we celebrate Loy Krathong. Loy Krathong for us is a spiritual holiday, and on this day, we ask for forgiveness of any wrongs that we've done against nature. We also commemorate and honor Buddha and his teachings. Today, and especially this year, we pray for good favor on the year ahead, not just for us, but for everyone, including you. The release of a krathong, or what we call a small reef into water, is how we observe this special holiday. The candles on the krathong represent light. The floating of the krathong on water symbolizes our wish to let go of any past transgressions. The incense on the krathong serves to purify and make good our path that lies ahead. These past few months have been challenging, to say the least. Many of us suffer with anxiety, with depression, with sadness, and of course, loss. We long to return to normal life. Meditation can help us to cope. It allows us to let go of the past and focus on the present, here and now. What a great day to learn about and practice meditation, Loy Krathong. This morning, we're honored to have with us Ajahn Yuttadhammo Bhikkhu. Before I go into his bio, I'd just like to give you a little bit of insight on what we will do this morning. Immediately after I introduce Ajahn and I will enter a short discussion on meditation. Then immediately, Ajahn will lead us in a meditation session. Following that session, he will come back to the screen and we will be joined by someone from Trikaya Tours, and we will answer the many questions that you will have. And then, of course, we will go live to Thailand for the celebration of Loy Krathong. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ajahn Yuttadhammo Bhikkhu is a very well-respected and recognized Canadian-born Theravada Buddhist monk. He was ordained in 2001 under the guidance of Venerable Ajahn Thong Sirimangalo of Chiang Mai. He has practiced intensive and daily meditation following the Mahasi Sayadaw tradition since January of 2000. Ajahn has taught intensive meditation not only in Thailand, but in Sri Lanka and here in North America as well, since 2003, and gives also online teachings via YouTube and live as well as pre-recorded. He has published 2 books, How to Meditate, A Beginner's Guide to Peace, and Lessons in Practical Buddhism. The former has been translated into almost 20 different languages. He gives Dharma talks in both English and Thai to both intensive meditators and by invitation to the general public. Ajahn, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
How are you, Ajahn?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that it's early, but maybe for you it's not so early. Is this? I know monks awake very early, typically every morning, correct?
Typically, yes.
Yes, good. Ajahn, I had the honor of going through your book, How to Meditate, A Beginner's Guide, because I wanted to learn more about meditation for myself. And I noticed immediately at the beginning of the book that you honored this book, or you dedicated this book to your teacher. Can you tell us why and what sort of impact that he had on you?
Ajahn Thong Sirimangalo is a very revered and respected monk in Thailand, one of the high-ranking monks. But for me, it's more personal. I spent a year sitting with him day after day for hours and hours on end. And I would hear him go over these teachings and teach the same thing in Thai repeatedly to audience after audience. And of course, there were books written about it. But I couldn't find anything in English that was exactly the sorts of things that are in the booklet. So, in fact, the booklet has me as the author, but really it's the teachings that I gained from countless hours spending at his feet, listening to him talk.
Great, great. It's very interesting. Very early in the book, you make a very strong parallel between medicine and meditation. Can you elaborate a little bit about that for us?
Yeah, so I mentioned how etymologically they're related, but the real point there is that there is a parallel between types of meditation and types of medicinal practice. So in medicine, there's, broadly speaking, two sorts of categories of substance. One is medication that you use to reduce or counteract the symptoms of a disease, and something that we might call medicine that you would use ideally to actually uproot and remove the cause of the symptoms. So some meditations are just used as a means of escape or vacation. Mindfulness meditation, what I'm going to show this morning, the idea is to actually cure the mind. So rather than bring you directly to peace, to uproot those things that are causing you suffering in the first place, so that your natural state is one of peace.
Yeah. You know, we live in a very consumeristic society here in North America. And so this brings me to my next question, because, you know, we always want things pretty quickly. Can one view meditation as a quick fix?
Well, yes and no. No, in the sense that, like anything, meditation is a training. Like any sort of mental activity, it's something you have to work at. But yes, in the sense that it's something you can quickly pick up. In just 10 minutes, I'm going to explain to you really the fundamentals of how to practice mindfulness. And there's not much more you need to begin. And from the very beginning, the Buddha called his teachings ehipassika, which means you can come and see it for yourself. From the very beginning, you should be able to see the improvement, the benefit, just by changing the way you look at things.
Yeah. And you know, I wonder, and I'd really love your feedback on this. You know, I'm wondering whether or not, you know, we need to start thinking about the incorporation of wellness activities such as meditation, etc., into our school curriculum, so that, you know, kids from a very early age, you know, can have these tools with them in order to face life's challenges. And I just wondered whether or not you had any thoughts on that, in terms of kids, and whether or not it's important for them to start at an early age.
I think it's definitely a great thing if they can. I mean, looking at society today, we can see something's lacking, or several. One of the things that's lacking anyway is the clarity of mind and the sort of balance and ability to live your life and to interact with the world without judgment, without reaction, without conflict. You know, we see so much conflict and strife and so much greed and delusion in the world that absolutely, if we were to be able to start at an early age, that would be great. I think something about mindfulness, and in particular the sort of technique that I'm going to show you, is that it's a concrete activity that's very easy for anyone, even a child, to understand. I've taught this to small children, and as I mentioned earlier, I once taught um, a mother who had a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I was talking to them, and I was listening to the 5-year-old teach the 3-year-old how to do it. So it really is simple and straightforward enough for anyone to understand, and at least
And
put it into practice.
I'm sorry. Yeah, and for persons like myself, you know, who, and many probably who are joining us this morning, who are in high stress jobs or in positions of authority, etc.,
Mhm.
can meditation help us in decision making?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it really comes down to our decisions moment to moment, every moment of our lives, that we're constantly making micro decisions. How am I going to react to this? How am I going to react to that? What am I going to say? What am I going to do? What am I going to even think? And our whole patterns and the narrative and the way we live our lives is based on these momentary decisions, which are very much dependent on our state of mind. Do we have a clear mind? Are we objective? Are we seeing things as they are, or how we want them to be? Are we manipulating the situation? Are we reacting to the situation? Are we so stressed and disturbed that we're not able to even think clearly or react positively? So meditation brings you to the actual experience and helps you be present with what's happening in that moment. And in that way, all of your decisions are
Yeah.
going to be affected positively.
There was an interesting concept in the book on clear awareness. Can you give us a little bit more insight into that?
So awareness is the basis of reality from a Buddhist perspective. Everything that we conceive of has to start from this idea of experience. You have to be aware first and foremost. The problem is our awareness is colored by things like greed, anger, delusion, arrogance, conceit, views, opinions, biases, and just instinctual habits that we build up and build up until they overpower us and consume and control us. So
Yeah.
clear awareness is a habit or a pattern of behavior whereby you see something just as it is. And we try to develop this state of just being with an object without judgment, without reaction, so that our response is something that is proper, that is right, that is just appropriate and efficient, so that we're constantly in a state of peace, clarity, and wisdom, all of the things that you could ever want in life.
Great. And one of the things that people I think struggle with is the whole concept of the mantra. Can you give us a little bit of insight into that from a simple perspective?
So words have power, and this is an ancient concept. A mantra is a very ancient meditation technique. The idea is you use a word or a phrase, language, to focus your mind on an object. It's just a tool. It's artificial, but it's a very common and very powerful meditation technique. Usually the mantra that you'll find is based on something spiritual, like we were talking about Om, for example, is a very spiritual mantra. Some people use Buddha or God, maybe Jesus, or Allah will be their mantra. And it's something that you focus on specifically, and it allows you to be completely in touch with that object. The difference with mindfulness is that our mantra, the words that we use, are going to be based on our mundane experience, because that's what we want to be focused on. That's where we want our attention to be.
Yeah.
And because that involves our reality, involves life, we gain along with it not only the focus and concentration, but we gain wisdom as well, understanding of our habits, because we're not off with something unrelated to ourselves. We're with the very basics of who we are.
Yeah, great, great. And Prajan, should we, will we experience some of that today? Will people need to have a mantra in mind to go through the session that you will lead us through in a few moments?
I'll explain to you about
Okay.
that. So the mantra is going to depend on your experience, but that's what I'll go over
Okay.
in the next part.
And I know that you practice or that you are very often in Thailand. Is there a meditation center that you specifically go to in Thailand?
Well, I was ordained in Chiang Mai in Wat Patat Jom Tong, and I've practiced as well in Wat Lampung. I know you're going to mention some other centers.
Yes.
So I'll try and add in, if
Okay.
people are interested in going where I was to learn
Okay.
the technique.
Yeah.
I'll try to send you guys information so
Yeah.
everyone can have that.
Well, Prajan, I want to thank you so much for engaging with us and sharing some of the insights. I know that you've been kind enough to allow everyone to get a digital copy of your book, How to Meditate: A Beginner's Guide to Peace. So thank you very much for that. And everyone who is in attendance and who registered will receive a copy of that so that they can study a little bit more. At this time, Prajan, I'm going to turn over to you so that you can lead the session. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I can also mention at the end, but I
Yeah.
was going to say, in addition to that, we have an at-home course.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
people want to follow up on this, we do a one-on-one video or audio
Very
call,
good.
and we
Okay.
meet once a week if they
All
want
right.
to know more.
So I'm going to
I'll
turn
try
over
and
to
include
you
that.
now.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so the next part, what I'm here to do is teach you a basic exercise in mindfulness. Mindfulness is a simple practice that we use in order to help us see clearly the nature of our experiences. The idea is that as I was saying, our ordinary interaction with reality is very much prejudiced by views and opinions and just emotions, liking, disliking, greed, anger, delusion, worry, stress, arrogance, conceit, etc., etc. Lots of things that um, we clearly would be better off without, and we would make better decisions without. And if we could somehow change those habits, sort of fix the mind or cure the mind of those illnesses, going back to the medicine idea, we'd be much better off. We would have greater peace, we would have greater clarity, we'd make better decisions, and we just live a happier life. So the technique that we use, as mentioned, is this idea of a mantra. And again, a mantra is just a word that you repeat to yourself. But the idea with mindfulness, since we're trying to focus on our experience, is we're going to actually find a word that reminds us of the nature of that experience. So, for example, when we feel pain or when we have thoughts, we're just going to say to ourselves things like pain, pain, and that would be our mantra, or thinking, thinking. And the idea is that by facing it, by focusing on it, even if it's something that we don't like, even if it's something that we would rather get rid of, uh, we're able to be with it, and we're able to be present with it and separate it from those reactions, from the disliking, from the fear, from the aversion. And when you're able to do that, you create this new interaction, this new ability to be with experiences that are challenging, that are troublesome, that can be a cause for great stress and suffering, without any of that, without having to suffer, without getting stressed at all. That's what I'm going to try to teach you. So the first exercise, or what I'm going to show, the beginning, sit with your legs crossed, if you can. If you can't, you can sit in a chair, but sit down. Put your hands on your lap, one hand on top of the other, with the palms up. And you're just going to watch your stomach. When your stomach rises, you're going to say to yourself, rising. When your stomach falls, you'll say to yourself, falling. And this is just a simple exercise to help you begin to train in this idea of mindfulness. When the stomach rises, just say rising. And when the stomach falls, just say falling. So close your eyes. If you need, you can put your hand on your stomach. And just be aware of the feeling of the stomach rising. When it rises, rising. And when it falls, falling. You don't actually say the mantra out loud. Just in your mind, put your mind with the object when you're aware of the rising. As soon as you're aware of it, start saying rise and sing all the way to the end. And same with the falling. When it starts to fall and you notice that it's falling, falling, rising, falling. The stomach, the rising and the falling movements of the stomach make a really good basic object. There's nothing special about them, but they allow you to train yourself to be able to see things just as they are. Rising is just rising, falling is just falling. If you're able to do it with your stomach, then you can apply it to everything else you experience in the same way, because of the training that comes from repetitive practice. So, for example, when you're watching the stomach rise and fall, you might get distracted by things like pain, pleasure, calm, any kind of feeling in the body or the mind. That's okay, that's not a problem. These are more objects of experience, and because the mind is experiencing them, we take them as the object. And we change our mantra. Instead, we focus, for example, on the pain, and we just say to ourselves, pain, pain, pain until it goes away. Not trying to make it go away, not trying to control it or fix it. Pain actually isn't the problem. The problem is we don't like it. So if we learn to just be aware of the pain as it is by reminding ourselves it's only pain, then we can free ourselves from the stress, from the actual suffering. Once it's gone, just go back again to the stomach and continue on saying rising, falling. Same goes for happiness, same goes for calm. Just say to yourself, happy, happy, or calm, calm. Again, it's not that we don't want the calm to come, it's not that we want it to go away. But like everything else, we can get attached to it. We like some things, we don't like other things, and so we become partial. Because we become partial, then we get upset when things don't go the way we want. So even with positive, happy experiences, we try to stay mindful and at peace without any attachment or clinging. The same goes for thoughts. If when you're watching the stomach, you find thoughts arise of the past or future, good thoughts or bad thoughts, doesn't matter. Just remind yourself thinking. And once it's gone, go back to the stomach. We're not trying to stop ourselves from thinking. Just like everything else, we're trying to face, experience, and understand, see clearly the thinking as thinking. Because of course, thoughts can be traumatic, thoughts can be devastating, thoughts can be fearsome, worrisome, stressful. But the truth is, the thought itself is just a thought. It's only our reaction, our judgment, our response to the thought that causes us to suffer. So if we can see thinking just as thinking, so many of the traumatic experiences and stressful thoughts are neutralized. They become simply experiences. They come and they go. So we just stay with the rising and falling, and when feelings or thoughts come up, we just note them. Another object that we have to pay attention to is our emotions. Liking and disliking, sadness, anger, fear, frustration, boredom, depression, craving, clinging, any kind of pushing and pulling, judgment, partiality. All of these we have to be careful with as well. They're not really problems in themselves, but they become problems when we attach to them, when we build them, when we cling to them. And so like the others, we just try to remind ourselves and stay impartial, objective about them. When you like something, just try to say to yourself, liking, liking, or when you want something, wanting, wanting. When you dislike something, or when you're angry or frustrated or bored or sad or afraid or depressed, just find a word for the emotion and repeat it to yourself. Some of these can be quite overwhelming and devastating when we let them get out of hand. But if we're just mindful of them, we can cut them off and let them go. Saying to ourselves, disliking or angry or bored, sad. And when they're gone, just go back again to the stomach and continue on rising, falling. When you feel tired or drowsy, or when you feel restless or anxious, note these as well. Tired, drowsy, restless, anxious. Anxiety is another important one. Anxiety can really cripple people who get into panic attacks because they react to the anxiety by getting more anxious, and they build and build the anxiety. So by saying to ourselves, anxious, worried, we're able to change our pattern of behavior from one of building to one of letting go, one of seeing clearly, just as it is. If you have any doubt or confusion, just the same, say doubting, or confused. And finally, the senses. So you can apply this meditation. It's not something you just have to do when you're sitting still with your eyes closed. This is a basic technique, a basic exercise. And by applying and developing this practice, you can apply it into your daily life. So when you see anything, you can say seeing. When you hear sounds that might disturb you and upset you, or sounds you might be attracted to, you say hearing, smelling, good smells or bad smells, tastes that you like or dislike. Just say tasting, smelling, and feelings on the body. Basically, anything you experience can be noted, and you can apply this technique of a mantra to cultivate this clarity of mind. It's just a simple exercise, concrete practice that you can apply in any situation. If you train in it, you can incorporate it into your life in ways that really change some of your basic interactions with the world around you. So that's the basic of this technique. That's what I have to teach for this. If you're interested, as I said, in more, as was mentioned, you can pick up a copy of our booklet. It's available on the website in many different languages. And you could also sign up for an at-home course to meet with me one-on-one once a week. And we can go through some exercises, take you through a full course on how to practice mindfulness meditation. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Pra Ajahn, for a great session and for such great tips. You know, it's really enriching to hear this and to be able to practice it and to incorporate it into our daily lives. And I think it's going to take some time, of course. Joining us also for our question and answer period, which we will go into right now, is Kun Pong. And Kun Pong is the owner of Trikaya Tours that's based in Bangkok. Kun Pong, good evening to you.
Sawasdee krap.
Sawasdee krap, Sawasdee krap. Very nice to see you. You know, I often tell people I use Kun Pong as a role model because I have never seen him in my 9 years interacting with him. I've never seen him get upset or get angry. He's always cool and always accommodating, and he offers first-class service when we're in Thailand. So Kun Pong, it's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in quite a few months, and we look forward to returning one day soon.
Thank you
welcome.
Very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I know that we have a lot of questions because we have quite a few people who have joined us this morning, and we want to thank them for taking time out of their Saturday morning to be with us. So can I ask for the first question to come to the screen, please?
Please.
And the first question is, how can I find the time to meditate in my busy schedule? Pra Ajahn, would you share with us some insights as to when you think is the best time for one to meditate? Is there a best time for meditating, or should we just do it when we feel that it's necessary?
Well, two things. I mean, first of all, it is important to take some time out of your life to meditate. So absolutely, you can apply this practice in your daily life. As I was mentioning, you don't actually technically have to change anything about your life to start meditating. You can just, when you're angry, say to yourself, angry, when you're frustrated, when you're stressed, or just when you're sitting still. You can say sitting, sitting, or watch the stomach rising, falling. But the challenge is to be able to do that and juggle that with all the other mental activities you have going. So if you're reading a book or if you're on the computer, you're not likely to be able to focus at the same time on being mindful. So for that reason, we take time out. And that can take the form of a daily practice. It really should, where you do some practice in the morning, maybe some in the evening as well. But ideally, if you really want to learn and get a basic foundation in mindfulness, you should consider to change some things about your life, take some time out, and maybe take a vacation to go to a meditation center and spend weeks um, on getting a good foundation, the training and the skill, because it really is a skill on being able to be present with experience.
Yeah. Khun Pong, for someone who is very busy, who runs a business, I know that you meditate on a daily basis. In fact, you've been a monk several times thus far in your life. When do you find the time to meditate?
I myself find that early morning is the best time for meditation because our mind is still clear and we can go to peaceful moment very easily. One of our ajahn that I respect so much also mentioned that every hour we give time for ourselves for 1 minute. That means every hour you can just sit still and try to meditate just only 1 minute, and that will be a good practicing every day. The most important is also you have to realize that meditation is part of our daily life. So it's very, very useful for our mental and physical condition. So try in the morning.
Yeah. So for Ajahn, for someone like me who lives in New York City, things, there's so many people, it's very hard, to enter conflict. Just getting onto the train, bumping into someone, or someone fighting for a seat, etc. If can I use meditation in these times? So for example, if I see a situation escalating, can I just use the mantra like to calm myself down? Maybe mentally just saying calm, calm, so that I'm able to diffuse it and walk away. Can I use meditation that way?
See, that's one sort of way of taking your mind away from the experience. It, on a deeper level, isn't going to prevent you from giving rise to the initial disliking. So a much deeper practice is to actually focus on the experience of, when you're thinking about the person who's taken your seat. If you can say to yourself, thinking, you won't get angry based on the thought.
Okay.
If you get angry and then you say to yourself, angry, you won't perpetuate it. So instead of saying calm, focus on the fact that you're not calm and try and learn and understand. I mean, the basis of Buddhism is wisdom.
Okay.
It's not escape.
Okay.
It's not even peace or happiness. The basis is wisdom, and that's what leads to true peace and true happiness.
Okay.
You have to develop the wisdom in order to really find peace and happiness. Wisdom is based on understanding what is causing you suffering and really looking at those processes by which we cause suffering.
So in other words, deal in the present, in the moment.
Yes.
Good. Good. Thank you for that.
Yatha bhuta jnana dassana. Knowledge and vision of things as they are.
Yeah. And I know that we have many questions, so I'm going to ask for the next question to come up onto the screen, please. When meditating, how do I stop my mind from being distracted and just focus on the meditation? Ajahn, would you have any insights for us on that?
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's not so much about concerning yourself with not being distracted, because anything that you're distracted by has in the essence of it a valid object of meditation. So suppose you're distracted by sounds. Well, sound can be an object of meditation. Just say to yourself, hearing. Suppose you're thinking and thinking a lot, maybe. Then even that can be an object of meditation when you realize it. And it's important that it is, because there's reasons why you're distracted. Maybe you're reacting to the thoughts. You like them, you don't like them, you're worried about them, and so on. And when you focus more clearly on them, you change that pattern where thoughts are just thoughts. You say to yourself, thinking, or If there's a lot, you can say distracted, distracted. And beginning to do that slowly allows you to dissect and deconstruct these patterns and narratives and stories that we get into, and see them just as moments of experience. And when they break down, then you are able to come back to the present, and your distraction slowly fades away.
Yeah. Kunpong, any thoughts on that? Is that how you do it?
The most important is to learn how to meditate. Basically, what we learn in all the retreat that I experienced, to put yourself in to find inner peace in your body.
Okay.
And that once you can reach that spot, which you have to train. So that is the reason why we have to come and learn from the session. And once you are finding your inner peace area, you can control, you can cope with many things, and even your emotion.
Okay,
and that's
great.
the most important. Come and learn.
Great, thank you. And the next question, I know that we have many questions. We can ask for the next question to come to the screen. I always fall asleep when I'm formally sitting, when I formally sit meditating. Do you have any suggestions? Any one of you would like to answer that, give some tips?
Can I?
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Ajahn Krab. For me and I, we have been also told that actually meditation don't have to close our eyes all the time. And immediately we feel tired, we feel asleep, just open the eyes and keep on meditating, keep on following the theme of the meditation. Once again, you feel fresh again, you can close the eye again. That means you can meditate, either open eyes or close your eyes.
Okay.
That is
Ajahn, any insights there?
Yeah, another thing that hasn't been mentioned at all is walking meditation. So if you come to practice, or if you do even an at-home course in our tradition, if you read the booklet, you'll see there's also walking meditation. So when you're tired during sitting, a really good practice is to get up and either do standing at the very least, or walking. Walking meditation really helps. You do it before sitting, and you'll find you're less prone to fall asleep. But another thing is, in the beginning, there's going to be a lot of imbalances. You'll sit and you'll fall asleep. You'll sit and you'll just feel restless, lots of pain, and so on. So you also just have to be patient, and eventually you'll get more strong in the mind. Your faculties will balance out and will become powerful, and all of that will work itself out. But in the beginning, don't neglect the idea of walking meditation. It's a really powerful and important practice that the Buddha recommended.
Well, thank you for that. I never even thought of that. So that's a good tip. The next question to the screen, please. What is the difference between meditation and prayer? Prajan, would you like to explain that to us?
So the word meditation means so many different things to different people. I mean, in English, the word was used in ways that we don't even recognize it as Buddhists or as meditation practitioners. Modern times, I think it's used a bit more in a Buddhist sense, but it was used to mean thinking about things, right? Even meditating on Christian things. And I think it was used mostly by Christian theologists. So there are meditations that are like prayer, where you wish for something. May I be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. In Buddhism, it's much less about may I get, may I win the Super Bowl or something like that, or it's wishing for things that are altruistic. There's an emphasis very much on that in Buddhist theory, of course, because that's far more peaceful and beneficial and wholesome. But with mindfulness, it's something very different. And it's maybe one of the key differences that distinguishes mindfulness from other types of meditation. You're not yearning for anything. You're not trying to change your situation. You're just trying to understand it. So prayer, even wishing for all beings to be happy, is kind of a desire for something to change. In mindfulness, all that you're trying to change is your awareness, your understanding of the experience. So when there's pain, when there's suffering, even when you see other people suffering, mindfulness is to help you let go of the stress and the reactivity that cripples you, really, from for example, positive change in the world. We talk about helping others and being engaged in the world. But if your mind isn't pure, any engagement you have is going to be defiled. You might get angry, you might get frustrated, you might even get burnt out trying to help people, but when you don't succeed, and that cripples you.
Ajahn, do you have to be Buddhist to practice meditation, or is it something that anyone can do regardless of their religious affiliation?
No, I mean, I think meditation is Buddhism, personally. So if you practice meditation and really subscribe to the very basic ideas, things like ethics. So it's not just closing your eyes and meditating, but there's ethics, morality, and just focusing the mind, cultivating positive states of mind, and gaining wisdom, not into some Buddhist theory or some in the Buddha or something divine, but just into your ordinary mundane reality. Like anyone who can believe in the existence of experience, that's enough. That's all you have to believe, right? It's not really belief at all.
Yeah.
And so the answer really is anyone can.
Great.
You will find in many cases that many of your other beliefs in things that are not based on experience will slowly fade, and some of them might even be in conflict. Like, let's not talk about the major religions. Besides that, even though we may not realize it, we all have beliefs, we all have views and opinions in a secular sense as well. I believe that if I get this promotion, it's going to make me happy. I believe if I get a nice new house and a car, or get married, or have kids, then I'll be happy. Right? We have so many beliefs. This is the essence of life. This is many of those turn out to be false. You know, the more dire ones. I believe that manipulating others, hurting others, that's a good thing. You got to get the best. You got to win the competition. You know, you got to hurt people to step on other people to get ahead. All of those have to go out the window.
Yes,
So there are
yes.
many kinds of belief, not just what we normally call religion, but it includes those.
Okay.
Some religious people have very bad religious beliefs. Belief that killing is good, belief that hurting others, belief that you don't have to worry about people who aren't in your religion, that sort of thing. All of these, yes, you do have to give up.
Yes.
But the label is not. The label is fairly meaningless.
Yes. If I could ask for the next question to be brought to the screen, please. And this one's very interesting. I'm interested in meditation in Thailand. Do you have any recommendations on where I should go? I think Khun Pong, you're the perfect person to answer that question.
ครับผม Okay, thank you very much คุณ Steve. Thailand is the best destination for meditation, and we have several categories that people can participate the meditation. One is at the temple. Most of the temple will have meditation program available. And of course, it may not be suitable for the tourist in terms of languages, in terms of convenience. Another one is also at the wellness resort. The wellness resort can combine the physical and the mental program, and using meditation as only a small part of the program. The participant can also experience, but maybe only a short period of time. The best thing is to attend the meditation program at the meditation center, where we have so many retreats in Thailand, and whether in Bangkok, in Chiang Mai, in Phuket, or Samui, or where else. So those who are interested in learning meditation, the best way is to organize a small group and just go to the meditation retreat center. We can help doing that. We can help to select the proper one, the good one, and we can help to design a suitable program to fit in each group of the requirement. Because if you go to join the regular program, you may not get the answer that you need. But if you plan together with us, we can design and organize a special group and use the suitable retreat area. Whether if the program is in Chiang Mai, we can have like We have about 5 places in Chiang Mai that is suitable for learning meditation. From what I see and recommend is there are 2 places near Pai. Maybe you can remember Pai or recognize Pai. Pai is a very, very nice town and a very beautiful area. And there are 2 retreat centers in that area. And we can do 2-day, 3 days program with very nice environment. And that is one of the location. Bangkok. For those who are in Bangkok and prefer to be in Bangkok, we have our own place, our own retreats. It's a nice small house by the river. And this one also, we have a very good program combining body and mind. That means we have instructor to teach meditation, and we have doctor who conduct, we call the physical movement to release the body tension, the muscle tension, and can combine these 2 matter to be together. And again, and what Ajahn said is very right. I persuade people to come to Thailand and just plan together. I am willing to help. I'm willing to coordinate. So I can, whoever have any question, because this is a very short period of time, we have so much to tell you.
Yes, and I'm very excited
to help everybody.
And Trikaya Tours is based in Thailand and can handle all your requests, your inquiries as it relates to meditation centers, the logistics, etc. And on the screen right now is Kun Pong's contact information. If you're not able to take it down or to take a picture, you can always email to the Tourism Authority, whether it be in Canada, whether it be in New York or in Los Angeles, and we'd be happy to share his contact details with you, because he is a DMC, a tour operator based in Bangkok, and is very well versed in these centers. So thank you, Kun Pong. I know that Ajahn, you also have, we touched on that a little earlier, you also are associated with a meditation center in Thailand as well?
Yeah, one, if you're interested in the sort of technique that I taught, one really good center that I recommend is in Chiang Mai City, called Wat Lampung, and they have a designated foreigner section, and the head monk is a good friend of mine, and he teaches the foreigners. He's been doing it for many years. He's a really good teacher. It's just a nice place. If I go back to Thailand, that's probably where I'll be going.
And English is widely spoken there, and at your centers as well.
He actually has now Western students who are also teaching along with him.
And Kun Pong, I'm assuming that all the safety and health protocols are being controlled and put in place at those centers, so that those who are coming eventually will have nothing to worry about?
Oh, that is absolutely right. Every single retreat is in a very nice environment. Of course, the nature of the meditation program is in open air.
Yeah.
That means we have in the fresh air, and then the area of sitting, meditating, we have the personal radius, 2 or 3 meters surrounded you, so that you don't have to be near to somebody. With the all these preventive measures. Okay. I just add one thing for you, that meditation is really beneficial for a management level people, business owner, and even anybody who want to improve their lifestyle. So I would really welcome them to Thailand.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kun Pong. We have so much to do, and we still have to go live to Thailand. So I'm going to say thank you very much to you, Kun Pong, for your insight and for helping us put this together. Pra Ajahn, we cannot thank you enough for your time and your commitment and your insight and your wisdom. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
And as I mentioned before, a copy of Pra Ajah's book, a digital copy will be sent to everyone who is with us today or who registered. So thank you, gentlemen. Khop Kun Krap. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go live to Thailand to take part in the ongoing Loy Krathong celebration happening right now in Ayutthaya, Thailand. As mentioned, there are many parallels between Loy Krathong and the practice of meditation. They teach us to let go of the past and focus on the here and now, the present. Loy Krathong takes place on the evening of the full moon of the 12th month of the traditional Thai lunar calendar. Thus, the exact dates of the festival change each year.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Hello everyone, my name is Kana.
My name is Yin.
And today this is a live broadcast from Ayutthaya, Thailand, which is 1 hour 30 minutes from Bangkok. And Ayutthaya today, this festival right here, it's called Loy Krathong Festival, and is hosted by Tourism Authority of Thailand. And we are going to take you on a tour in this event together. So shall we go take a look at everything and talk about Loy Krathong a little bit? Okay, so as you can see, this festival right now, it's like a fair with a lot of foods and desserts sold here. Oh, it looks very tasty. Should we give it a try?
Yes. This is a Thai crispy crepe. It has two filling. One is sweet and one is savory.
Okay.
But both of them are yummy. You should try both.
I don't trust you. I don't believe you. So I shall try this.
ขอชุดหนึ่งได้ไหมคะ
ขอบคุณค่ะอันนี้ชิมได้เลยใช่ไหม
หนูหยิบได้เลยเหรอคะ
ดิบได้เลยใช่ไหม
ลอง
โอเค shall we no
ไม่เนอะไม่หยิบให้กัน
oh okay yeah for COVID situation okay shall we try tastes really good
And
okay
you should have another one, the savory one. ขอบคุณค่ะ
we're gonna walk and then maybe like take it with us shall we okay so as you can see this is the kind of festival that we get during the year. So this is Loy Krathong. Maybe we should talk a little bit about Loy Krathong. When is Loy Krathong?
Loy Krathong usually take place at the night of the full moon of the 12th lunar calendar. When the weather is fine, the sky is clear, and it's end of the rainy season and also end of the harvest season as well.
Let's grab a drink together and then we can talk and
idea.
see the whole. I don't know, right? ขอน้ำ2 แก้วค่ะ So we have like a lot of herbals kind of drinks, which is very rooted in the Thai culture as well. And right now, let's try what should we have?
Maybe the butterfly pea.
Oh,
Butterfly pea flower juice.
Anchan, we call
Yes.
this anchan. And
What do you want? You want to try the roselle?
yeah, and let's do the roselle juice as
ขอ
well.
น้ำกระเจี๊ยบกับน้ำอัญชัน
ข
ค่ะ
อน้ำ2 แก้วค่ะ ได้ค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Ooh, this is also made from this natural materials
Yes,
as
from
a
palm leaf.
wow อันนี้ขอบคุณค่ะ
น้ำ
อัญชันค่ะ This is butterfly pea juice. Now in the modern days, of course, we do like coffee and tea and everything, but this is more rooted in a Thai culture. Okay.
And then paper straw
Oh,
นะ
thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ
This is
And
so
then
น้ำกระเจี๊ยบค่ะ
น้ำกระเจี๊ยบค่ะ Okay. We're gonna exchange the drinks later. Okay.
พอแล้วค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ
All right, so as you
จ่าย
can
ให้
see right now, you can find all sorts of things here in this festival. And this is like a fair, yeah, with all the things that you can eat. And while you're eating, you can enjoy the festival as well. So let me have a sip. So good. Really, really good. Okay, so let's go back to Loy Krathong a little bit before we go off topic with the food. The Loy Krathong festival after the rainy season, right? So what else? I got distracted again.
It's
What
okay.
is that?
This is how they make the knife in ancient day. How they shape the metal.
Oh, so they shape the metals to make like knives and oh, so this
And
they are
sword?
showing the antique way.
Yes.
Okay, I see. So you will see that they are wow.
Very labor intensive.
Right, a lot of people. You need a lot of people to do that.
And some community around Ayutthaya and other part of Thailand is still making this kind of swords and knife in the old way.
I have to admit that I've never seen such process before, so this is my first time as well. Oh. All right, now since we are in Loy Krathong Festival, let's talk about what is Loy Krathong first.
Well, คณะ Loy Krathong is one of the most famous festival in Thailand.
Right.
It usually take place at the night of the full moon of the 12th lunar calendar. So every year the exact date of Loy Krathong day will change.
Okay, so it's not always this date.
Yes, it will be like end of October or early November. Depends on the, like I said, the lunar calendar. It will be the day that the weather is fine because end of the rainy season, the sky is clear and the harvest season is also ended. So people will get together and celebrate throughout the country.
Oh, so not just a particular place, not just in Ayutthaya, not just in Bangkok,
That's right.
but throughout the country.
That's right.
All right, I see.
And look at what we have right now.
The word Loy Krathong.
Yes, exactly.
It literally.
Loy means to float. And
Loy,
Krathong
float.
is what we have right now. It's a lotus-shaped vessel made from banana leaves and all kind of biodegradable natural material.
Okay, the organic materials. I've seen like there were years back when we used like plastics and foams for the sake of convenience, but then now that we have become more environmentally concerned, so
Yes.
we start to adopt and we want to use more of the organic materials, yeah?
One of the funniest krathong that I have seen, Kana, is made from the old lottery ticket.
Lottery
origami.
ticket.
Yeah, they fold the lottery ticket
Oh.
as a lotus petals.
Ah, like this,
Yeah,
but with
like
lottery
for extra
ticket.
luck, maybe.
Oh, right. All the prosperity.
Have you seen other kind of material?
Yeah, I really like the one made with bread.
Oh.
Because like when you float it on in the river, then the fish
fish.
you can feed the fish as well. So I think I really like that one too. It
That's
looks
very
really
creative.
cute. Yeah, people get really creative for becoming like what the materials they make. Sometimes it becomes like the coconut shells and everything as well. So I really like it. It looks really beautiful.
That's really good. We pollute less to the water because actually the original purpose of Loy Krathong is to pay homage or to seek forgiveness to the from the พระแม่คงคา
พระแม่คงคา the goddess of water.
Yes, that's right. Because we pollute the water and river and canals all year
because
round.
we use it. So this is a festival for us to really sort of like apology.
Yes.
And also to thank the goddess of water,
Yes.
saying like, oh, like on this day, I really want to thank for all the water supply.
That's right.
Right.
And when time passed by, right now, lots of people take the meaning of Loy Krathong in a different way.
Right.
They believe that the Krathong will carry away the sin and misfortune, and then they will make a wish for the coming new year, and then float Krathong onto the river.
There's also this, the rumor has it that if the light and the krathong goes along off the shore, then it means that your year will be full of luck.
That's right.
Right, okay.
And
Shall we get it? So over here, there's not just only the flowers and the banana leaves, but also this is incense and candles, right?
that's right.
Shall we light up the candles? ขอไฟหน่อยได้ไหมคะ? Okay, so we are going to light this up and then we're going to make a wish together. But let's talk about the history just a little bit before we float away. How did it start?
It's
Loy Krathong.
The legend said that the Loy Krathong festival first happened during Sukhothai era. One of the king's consort named Noppamat.
Noppamat.
She is the one who made Krathong and float it onto the river.
Right. Oh, that is why we have, as you can see, we have, the lights, performance, music, and dances. But also very important is also we have this beauty pageant contest. And we call it ประกวดนางนพมาศ
That's right.
which is the name of the lady
Yes.
that first started the
Loy Krathong.
Krathong festival.
And if you have a plan to come to Thailand next time, don't miss out to put Loy Krathong festival in your plan because it's one of the
Exactly.
most romantic festival and you can celebrate throughout the country, not just in Ayutthaya. In Bangkok as well, places like the luxury riverside hotels or the temple nearby the river, they also have big celebration of Loy Krathong festival.
And also krathong like this. Oh, do I have to make krathong like this? I don't know how to make it. You can find it anywhere it will be available for sale, and you can choose which kind of krathong you want as well. So now I hope that you get the picture of what it's like to be, joining Loy Krathong Festival in Thailand. And now let us invite you to be a part of this Loy Krathong by making a wish together with us, and Loy Krathong float away all this together and wish us a good luck for the new year. Okay?
And then be careful.
Let's make a wish together. Okay. All right, let's do it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our session this morning. Thank you so very much for joining us. May you continue to be kind to yourself, to your family, and all those around you, and especially the world that we live in. May your meditation sessions bring you stillness of mind and the awesomeness of living in the present. Whatever you do today, please, we ask that you begin with a smile. Khop kun mak krab. Thank you for joining us.
When I think of Thailand, there's one word that pops into my mind, and that's wellness. I think wellness is really a part of the culture. So when you're here in Thailand, whether it be eating the healthy foods or experiencing the people and their positive attitudes, you just feel like self-care is really a part of Thailand in general. And for me, coming here, I lead trainings, I come here and I practice yoga and retreats. I always come to Thailand and feel like I'm breathing more deeply, I'm feeling lighter and feeling healthier in general. So wellness is Thailand. Thailand is wellness. Got Samui might be my favorite place in Thailand, but it isn't the only place that is perfect for yoga and meditation. Head to the jungle or the mountains in Chiang Mai, or even the other incredible beaches like Koh Tao, or even Phuket or Krabi. There are amazing yoga and meditation retreats all over Thailand to discover.